Sylas, born into a poor family in Demacia, seemed destined for a grim fate from the start. Despite their humble status, his parents were deeply committed to the country's ideals. When they discovered their son's magical abilities, they convinced him to surrender to the kingdom's mage hunters. The mage hunters noticed Sylas's ability to sense magic and started using him to identify mages within the kingdom. For the first time in his life, Sylas felt he had a purpose. He would serve his country faithfully. Even though he was proud, he was incredibly lonely. Talking to anyone other than the mage hunters who escorted him was strictly forbidden. As Sylas worked, he began to realize that magic was far more prevalent in Demacia than the state acknowledged. Even among the rich and renowned, he could sense traces of power. What troubled him more was that many of these people were among the staunchest critics of magic and mages. Yet while the poor suffered punishment for their curses, the same laws seemed not to affect the influential names. This hypocrisy planted the seeds of doubt in Sylas's mind. When Sylas and his handlers encountered a hidden mage living in the rural areas, a horrifying incident unfolded, causing those seeds of doubt to sprout. Witnessing the mage, a small girl, Sylas felt pity for her. In an attempt to protect the child from the mage hunters, he accidentally touched her skin. The girl's magic surged into Sylas, causing uncontrolled explosions of raw power that spread from his hands to the surroundings. This unknown ability, fueled by untamed energy, resulted in the deaths of 3 people, including Sylas's mage hunter mentor. Aware that he would be branded a killer, Sylas started living as a fugitive. In no time, he gained a reputation as one of the most dangerous mages in Demacia. When the mage hunters finally found him, they showed no mercy. Despite being in his youth, Sylas was sentenced to a lifetime of imprisonment. Bound by heavy shackles made of petricite, a substance that suppresses magic, he began to drift away from life day by day in the darkest corner of the mage hunter's dungeon. Deprived of magical sight, his heart hardened like stones that imprisoned him, and he harbored dreams of revenge against everyone who put him there. After 15 years of misery, Sylas, a young volunteer from the Illuminators named Luxana, came to visit him. Despite his shackles, he noticed that the girl possessed magic potent enough to be a rare and powerful mage. An unusual secret bond developed between them. Sylas provided information about magic control, and in return, Lux taught him about the world outside his cell, bringing him the books he desired. Eventually, with careful manipulation and coaxing, Sylas convinced Lux to secretly bring a forbidden book about the sculptor Duran's studies on petricite to his cell. The book revealed the secrets of petricite to Sylas. While the stone formed the basis of Demacia's defense against harmful magic, it did not suppress or absorb magic. Now aware of the petricite's true nature, Sylas began to wonder if he could release the magic contained within it. All he needed was a source of magic, someone like Lux. However, Lux never visited him again. Without any explanation, Sylas's execution was decided upon, and no one paid attention to Lux's pleas for her friend's life. As the executioner prepared to swing his sword, Sylas managed to touch Lux. The girl's magical power, just as Sylas predicted, filled the petricite shackles, ready to be directed. Sylas, using the stolen magic, tore everyone in the vicinity to pieces and escaped. He spared only the horrified young crown guard's life. Freed from the mage hunter's prison, Sylas became a symbol of the oppressed and a defiant figure against Demacia's oppressive system. Moving clandestinely through the kingdom, Sylas gathered a group of exiled mages. However, he always knew that even with their combined strength, it wouldn't be enough to overthrow the throne. This is why Sylas, accompanied by his closest followers and a few sturdy oxen, crossed the northern mountains and headed to the frozen tundras of Freljord. Here, he seeks new allies and searches for a powerful elemental magic mentioned in an ancient legend. Once he reaches his goal, he plans to return to Demacia and destroy the oppressive system that has caused suffering for him and his mage friends for years.